Okay. Is there a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
This meeting is being audio and video recorded, and the owner's project manager, Tom Getzonis, is in a remote location. Minutes.
I took a look at the minutes, they seemed okay with me, so I'll move to approve the minutes from the last meeting, which was, I want to say 11,
You have the day meeting.
13,
10.
11:10?
Wait a minute.
Is it
No,
10?
no, November
11/14.
15th.
15.
November 15th.
Yeah, 11:15. I'll move that we approve those minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Is there
And
a-
abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay. Budget update. Tom?
Yes.
So, based on the projections that we have up to date right now, which includes the items that have been paid for as well as those.
Hold on one
items that-
second, Tom. Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
As well as those items that you'll be theoretically approving shortly, we have in our budget a owner's project contingency balance of $120,680. So, bottom line, we remain under budget, and this should be more than enough to complete any and all remaining items.
Any questions?
That number includes 17?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay,
That's great news.
thanks.
Change orders?
I have handed out a copy of change order 17. Hopefully everybody has a copy of that. If not, we have a couple more additional copies. So we have a few copies of the, oh, you got one, okay. We can just run through these. So I have 5 copies that Maureen will sign if we approve this, and then,
I wanted that.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lynn, do you know?
I haven't, thank you.
All right, so if we look at the top of this, change order 75R3. This was, we owned some scope at this retaining wall at the north side, northeast side, we'll say, of the property, repairing the concrete and then staining the concrete. We originally owned just a little bit of patching and then paint, and so we upgraded that, and the final cost was $22,326. They just finished that within the last week, and we're pretty happy with the outcome of that. We hope it holds up over time, because they did do some extra work, kind of cutting out concrete and patching it away where it's more a better long-term solution. And the stain isn't just a paint that's going to chip off in 5 years. It is a stain. It penetrates the concrete. So we really hope that one is a better long-term solution for the library, for the town.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I think it turned out nice. Change proposal 90R1. So in this storage room, adjacent to this room, we have a steam system that provides humidity for this historic room, so that the newspapers and other artifacts or older documents can keep at, I think, 50% humidity, so we have a controlled environment. And that steam system had to be relocated during construction because of a conflict with some ducts, and so we put some bollards by it so it wouldn't get banged up by any carts or tables or chairs for the large meeting room, and that was $1,313. And then change proposal 94R1. In the garage, we originally owned a drywall ceiling, and we just elected not to do that. There was so much equipment up there. It was going to have to drop this, either put the ceiling up high and have all the equipment below it, or drop the ceiling down low and have big window pockets for the windows. So we kept it as it was, and that was a credit for $2,222. And then change proposal 95, additional 20 inches of louvers. Over this second floor entrance, there is a large mechanical screen that hides the chiller. And you'll notice the bottom 2 feet of it you can see the chiller right through the frame. That's going to get filled in. The cause of this is the chiller was taller than originally intended due to a higher curb and dunnage and just the chiller in general. And so we ended up just scooting the louver frame up so that we kept the chiller hidden from view per the planning board requirements. So those fan blades on the mechanical screens are actually kind of expensive, and that additional 20 inches to go around that full perimeter of that chiller screen was $11,823. And then change proposal 98, down at the sloped walk at the main entry here, we have a sloped walk, and we have uphill of it we have a granite curb that keeps all the mulch in place during rainstorms. And on the street side of that sloped walk, we put in kind of a metal landscape edge along the sidewalk, and the main point is just to keep all the mulch off the sidewalk during rain events, and also, I think it'll help guide the snow blower. Just it'll keep the sidewalk cleaner, keep maintenance down. This was $3,907, and then the last one, change proposal 99. Site modifications. So down at Park Street, we had an area where there wasn't a good transition from the adjacent property onto the library, so we ended up having to relocate some granite curbs out and then raising up a manhole because no longer was that manhole in the street, but now it was in the grass area. So we raised up that manhole, and then there was two elbows in the drainage system that's underneath the parking lot that collects all the rainwater, and we needed to expose those and create cleanouts all the way up to grade. Also, right at the main entrance of the driveway, the catch basin was heavily damaged, and so the contractor added that to the work to replace the catch basin and the structure underneath it. And that total was $30,836, bringing the grand total in there. That's the fourth line. It's $67,983. So if you look at this, the original contract sum was $10,867,000, and with this last change order, that brings us up to $11,829,269.
In that regard, I would say that the financial subcommittee met last week and reviewed all of these, and I don't believe we had any problems. Paul?
That's correct.
Barry?
No.
Okay. In that case, Mr. Chairman, I would like to move that we recommend that the town of Stoughton execute O'Connor Construction change order number 17 for the amount of $67,983.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Do you need these?
Construction
No.
status,
Okay.
is that Tom?
I can provide that.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
Jim?
Or Jim. So we are near completion. There's a couple of glass rail panels that were not correct, and they have been ordered and are coming to the site. And really, the glass rails around the library, the interior of the library, are kind of like the last missing pieces. And then outside we have a couple of pipe rails that are as temporary until we get the permanent rails installed. The contractor hopes those will be in before the opening on Saturday. And then
Those the ones on the front stairs as you come up?
out here at the front stairs. Other than that, we have some missing items with the metal shelving that we're still looking to have installed within the next week. And we're going to follow up with the vendor that's provided those. And beyond that, the library is complete. I mean, I've been through inside and outside every floor and on the roof and all the exterior walls looking for anything that needs to be corrected, and created a punch list. We have about 560 items on the punch list right now.
But a lot of them are just like little snags in the rug.
Yep.
That like it's every
It's
single.
not that
item is
unusual to
listed.
have something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Paint, Nick, repatching little paint things, but they've been frantically doing it for the last 3 days.
my last project had 1,600 punch
Oh.
list items. So
There we
I'm,
go.
I'm pretty happy with 560 items.
Maybe we're not being-
$30,000 job.
Yeah. How many?
30,000.
No, I was actually very pleased. You go into the bathrooms and the tile looks really good. Like they had good quality craftsmen that did the work. The paint looks good. I'm happy with the craftsmanship, and I think they did a great job. You know, there's little hang-ups here and there that happens on every project. We'll get through them, and in a year from now we'll forget all about that. I hope if Pat can make it a few more weeks.
Oh, yeah. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Any questions? Invoices?
Well, I have some invoices here.
Sign that. All I need is the front page.
Where'd this come from, Maureen? This is dated September 25th, 2017.
There was a missing invoice from WSP,
Okay,
so this is the missing invoice. It hasn't been paid.
okay. I just wanted to
Okay.
check, just to make sure. Okay. All right, so we have a number of invoices. I'm going to go through this batch first, then we have a second batch with FF&E stuff on it.
Yep.
So this batch here, we have Feingold Alexander Architects, their invoice number 17043 for $5,672.30. Datalist Project invoice number 181134 for $12,872. M. O'Connor's invoice number 17. I believe this is the right number, Jim. I don't know if you know offhand. $506,029.18. Is that right?
That is correct.
That is correct. Thank you, ma'am. We have two invoices from WSP, our commissioning agent. One is for November of this year for $1,500, and the one that Maureen and I were just talking about is an invoice from last year that has been missing for $1,500. And finally, we have an invoice from Briggs. They were doing the water testing, Jim, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and that's been confirmed that they were all here, and that's for $4,675. So the total is $532,248.48. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make the motion that the town of Stoughton recommend that the town of Stoughton pay all the invoices that I just read off for the total amount of $532,248.48.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, do we have another one?
We have the FF&E. Do you want me to talk about this?
Why don't you do that one, yeah. Oh, while she's doing that, I'm gonna send this around for signatures.
So we all know Pat has moved 3 times in the last month. 2 months. 2 months. I'm sorry.
You got a pen?
So we've collected all the FF&E. We're going to ask that we do this as a not to exceed, because she doesn't have access to all of her invoices to see what percentage we paid last month and this month. So I'm just going to say the amount, but it's for Creative Office Interiors, FTG, Red Thread, MD Stetson, Tucker, Library Interiors, Vertical Communications, and WB Mason, and Diamond Relocation. So I'd like to make a motion not to exceed $411,086.44. And this is for FF&E, so furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So there's some equipment in there. The relocation costs are in there. So it might go down a little, but I would ask for not to exceed.
There's also some technology in there, too.
There's technology as part of the equipment.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Yep, one of those for Tucker was for 85% recommendation. Is that gonna go through that way?
No, we're actually gonna do it, because we have to look, there's some pieces of equipment missing from Tucker. And I
Okay.
believe there's gonna be a conference call and we'll verify it.
All right, in that case, I don't have any other questions.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
You have to sign for the.
Schedule? You're gonna,
It's the building's done.
Opening on Monday. Opening on Saturday.
Saturday, I hope.
This building's opening Saturday, that's the schedule.
That's it.
Grand opening at 2, Tom, on Saturday,
Correct. 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Okay, the FF&E, we just went through that, correct? Or is there anything else on that?
Do we have more to buy?
No, we don't have more to buy, but we may have stuff that either hasn't come in or they have to do replacement items. But nothing else hasn't been ordered.
Can I assume that all the FF&E that's here now is sufficient for you to open up and run the library? I guess is the way we're looking at it.
Yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
But sometimes, as we know, if we've
Yeah.
opened new buildings, you get in, you say, oh, we should have had this.
Yeah.
Okay, telecommunications, anything new on that?
So the IT department and the vertical phone company have been working frantically here for 2 weeks. They've been doing a great job. The staff had a phone training Monday morning. And the new phone system has a lot of nice security features that our old system didn't have. And now that town meeting voted to do a similar system town-wide, as of June, the schools and all the other town department buildings will have the same system as we do. So as of June, we'll be able to call each other with a 4-digit number, and we'll also have assigned direct 7-digit numbers to a specific line. But we won't have that here until the whole town comes on board. But one of the features we really like is there's 27 phones. We only have 4 lines, including a fax line, a panic line, and a elevator line, yeah. But we have 25 extensions. That's what's great about this system. So it doesn't cost any, it's actually the phone bills are very low because it's all, voice over IP address. So the interesting thing is because there's 25 phones in the entire building, we have 32,000 square feet of space now, you can pick up a phone in any room and it's like a PA system intercom, and an announcement that you're saying in one phone, like Barbara a few minutes ago asked Josh to come up to 2.1. Wherever he is, every phone in the building is saying, Josh, please come up to 2.1. So it's kind of nice. You can't, you don't have to go traipsing around trying to find somebody. It would be great for the school. Do you have something like that now in the schools?
We do.
Yes, we never had that.
Although it's the intercom, so the whole entire building hears you when you
Yeah.
pick up your phone and dial.
Yeah,
And it's
well,
When you
that-
get your new phones, you'll be able to do the same
Yeah.
thing in your school.
But it's a
You may
nice
not be
safety,
there for
but
that.
it's
I
a
can make
nice,
announcements from my desk.
yeah,
You
there
may
you
not
go.
be there for that.
School is closed. Well, one of the things that's interesting from a safety perspective is that, we sometimes occasionally lose a 3-year-old or a toddler, and a parent will come and say, I can't find my child. Well, now we can lock the building down immediately on all floors, because everybody will be notified immediately and will find the child quicker. Usually they're hiding between the shelves or behind a door. But that kind of thing is a better safety feature, so we're really excited about that.
How do we stand with access to internet and Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi everywhere is working. The
Good.
internet is working everywhere. The thing that we've been working on the last couple of days is a new time and print management system for the public. So in the old library, we only had 10 public access computers. In the new cutting edge technology library, we'll have 40 public access computers. And so instead of having 40 separate printers that are expensive to run because you have to buy cartridges for them, we have a print center on each floor. So on the second floor and on the first floor, there's a print center. So if you're at a computer on 2.1, when you want to send your job to the printer, you just, a print option will come up, and it will be to the Ricoh copier right here outside the door in a print center. There's a fax machine there as well. People can go. It's all coin operated, so 10 cents a page. You can run your copies. That will pay for the ink cartridges. It's great. Other libraries have it, and a lot of colleges have it. It's just a very easy way to manage. And then the public can come in for time management, sit down on a computer. They're all touch screen, and they put in their barcode, and they can sit down for an hour, use the computer, and if their hour runs up and nobody is waiting, they can renew it for another hour. So it'll be very user-friendly and help the staff at the desk not have to sign everybody in,
Now, you said they're touchscreen, but I noticed there's mouses at each.
because a lot of the public isn't comfortable using a touchscreen.
Okay, so that they can do
Yeah.
it either way.
It turns out it's cheaper to buy a touchscreen now than the old-fashioned
Yeah,
screens, and for the time management and the print management, the touchscreen talks you through how to sign in. So, like, you touch the screen and it will say, if you want to sign in, plug in your number now, and then they can either do that on the keyboard or on the
On
screen.
the screen itself, okay.
Yeah, and then we have 15 out of the 40 that are Chrome-based computers, which are all Google-based, and there's no hard drive. And we got those because all the kids in the school system are using Chrome now. They all get a,
Right, yeah.
how old are they, when do they all get their Gmail address? When they're like in second grade? Kindergarten?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
That'd
because
be
they
nice.
have to be signed in with
Okay.
their iPads and.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily use them yet, but they're assigned them.
So because the schools use Chrome, we decided to have at least some portion of our computers be Chrome-based so that because they know how to use that. Some of our older patrons don't know how to do everything in the cloud, so we had to have a combination of both. So that's exciting. So that's the technology piece of it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
So
Okay.
we're in pretty good shape.
I think that you're mostly thrilled with the motorized shades on the outside, because I saw you playing around with
I know.
those.
Well, I have to say the sun in the afternoon is kind of blinding up on 2.1.
Very blinding sun,
Yeah, I can
yes.
imagine.
But it's programmed so that in the secretary's office, you can press a button to have the shades in the front go down, and it does that entire bank of windows all at the same time. So that's nice.
Yeah, I noticed there was a button on one of the posts on that bank of windows. What is that one for?
It could be a thermostat control, but actually, right? He's talking about in the front of the building in 2.1, there's a couple, they look like they're
There's a
temperature control
control
things.
And if it looks like that little white box with the knobs right there.
Yeah, what
then
is
it's just-
that?
It's just a thermostat, but it's more or less a sensor.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
okay.
basically a
Oh,
temperature
it's
sensor.
Yeah, so it's not, we don't want the public to go up there and think they can make it hotter or colder.
Colder,
It's
yeah,
really
okay.
just sensing the temperature, and then the system is programmed to keep
Would
maintaining it.
you like to say that again, to make sure
Yes.
anybody is
For
watching
those
and hear
listening
that?
at home, they're just sensors.
So we also don't want them to think that the last row of lighting closest to the windows
Oh, right,
are not working.
right, yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Because-
that's.
They're on sensors also.
Explain
They're on
that, yeah, that's an
sensors
interesting
also.
feature.
Go ahead, Aaron.
All right, so part of the, I think it's part of the energy code now, but like that last 10 feet closest to the windows has daylight sensors. So as the day gets brighter, those lights will dim, and as it gets darker, then they'll come back on.
Very good.
So if you're in the big community room and there's 4 rows of lights, the ones closest to the windows seem like the bulbs aren't working. But then the ones further from the window are nice and bright, and that's why, because it's saving
Good.
energy, because it's unnecessary, because it senses the light from
We're
the
gonna
window.
need little info stations.
I think we're gonna try.
Explain things to people.
We're just gonna say, watch the meeting on the
Yeah,
there you go.
Keep an eye on
We'll
this.
just have
or-
it running.
Yeah.
We need
Monitors.
somebody like Bill Nye the Science Guy to come by and just point out all the nice energy efficient features of this building.
Great idea.
If we'd
That
gone
might
for,
happen.
I know.
If we'd gone for lead, we usually have like a building as the educator, and we'll have a plaque there and say, notice we have this, water saving features, and we have these.
Well, we could still do that.
We could still do that, because we did try and incorporate a lot of those, that's like a standard for us, is
Mm-hmm.
how do you make the building more sustainable and use less resources?
So is that part of our contract, that we could get like one info sheet that I could just duplicate and hang up in different places?
They'll
could
do
make-
it for nothing.
I could make it happen.
Maybe. And you were
Aaron
gonna,
will make it happen.
you were gonna
Aaron's gonna make
email
it
me
happen.
like a brochure with the floor plans on it.
That's right.
Sure.
By Saturday.
By Saturday.
Well, Saturdays are opening.
Yeah.
By Friday would be better, so I can make copies.
No pressure though, Ed.
Yeah.
No.
Why don't you just do it? Why don't you
Time.
just stay here and do it after
I
that?
did ask for that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. That's right. I
just
had
saying.
to twist arms to get those
I-
evacuation signs. So I'll make this happen, the brochure.
Okay.
Have you been learning those skillful negotiation skills?
No, I
from
just
the
get out
job
a bat.
site? The pinata stick?
Are we all moved in?
We are. The movers officially left last Wednesday. They unpacked their last book cart. And the staff we've been managing keeping the bank open with 3 computers because we needed to bring the rest over here to set them up. And then the rest of the staff has been over here unpacking and learning how to use the phones and all that stuff. So they've really been working their tails off, but I think by Saturday we'll be in good shape.
Where are all the paintings? Are they still in crate?
Those are all in the vault at Randolph Savings Bank,
Okay.
wrapped up.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the vault.
In the
I
vault.
noticed the wolf painting is in a good location.
Yes, it was
Oh,
the
that's
only,
perfect.
yeah.
That was
yeah.
excellent location.
Great
for it,
spot,
yeah.
you can see it at night.
Yeah.
She
Right
sent
through
me
the
an
window.
email the day
What is that,
we-
the big one?
The big one, the
Yeah.
abstract one that Jack Wolf
Jack Wolf.
painted. The trustees back in, what was that, 69, 68?
Long time ago.
But before the
Long-
new building opened?
Uh,
It opened in 69.
Before the
no,
first
it
new
was
building.
just after it opened, because Jack Wolf used to live on, forget the street, Turnpike Street, and one of our trustees, I think, or one of the people that was on the arts committee with me, lived in his house
Oh,
as a tenant or something
Yeah.
like that. It was a little modern house that was off the road there. And they bought it, I think, just after the building was open, I think.
so the trustees commissioned that specifically for the space over the desk in the
Over
old building.
desk, yeah.
So we wanted to find a space for that in the new building because this doesn't look like the old building. But
Mhm.
people will see that painting on 2.1 and it will kind of
Mm.
give them that continuity. But I got an
See it from the
email,
street?
we hung it up last week and I get an email like 6 o'clock at night. I drove by the library, the lights are on. I saw the painting. You can see it from the street.
Well, it's a perfect spot for it.
Well, that's-
There's
I'm gonna have to go
colours
up and
and
look
such,
at it.
yeah.
There was a lot of going back and forth about that. I actually called, his wife is still alive, he's passed
Yeah.
away.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked her if we could hang it vertically. Because we
No.
could, but we were at our wit's end. We couldn't find a completely blank wall to hang that on. But it looks great on that colored wall.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Like it was made for it.
Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
get the other paintings eventually. That's just, we gotta get,
So your library check-in, check-out system is working and everything else is on the go. So technically I could come here Saturday at 2 o'clock and actually check out a book,
you could,
but.
but you could if you wanted
Apparently.
to.
5 o'clock,
But you
could
will be
come and
busy
check
giving
out a
tours,
book,
so-
yeah.
You,
won't
you
have
will,
time
you will
to
be
check
giving
out books.
tours. So, the 2 months that we were closed in the second temporary space at Randolph Savings Bank, Canton Library was extremely gracious in taking all our patrons. So all of our holds went to them. The patrons would go to Canton, pick it up, they would drop off stuff. So last week, we got 96 boxes filled with books that Canton had taken for us. And the delivery company that does all the book delivery for the whole state called me up on Monday and said, last Monday, and said, Pat, I can't store anymore. I have no space. It was an entire van filled with these
Books,
big
yeah,
plastic
yeah,
boxes.
yeah.
So those, Thursday and Friday, we're hoping the staff will be able to start checking those in. It's gonna take us 2 weeks to check all those in, because every time you check one in, then it either tells you it's going to Avon, because
Yep.
someone else is waiting. I mean, it's processing,
it's a
or it's
process,
going
yeah.
on our shelves. So that'll take a while, but we're not actually starting that until we get completely unpacked and are ready. So if you're waiting for a book, it could be a week or two before we actually find it, check it in, and then get it out
I've
to
been
you.
downloading, so.
There you go, yeah. You have options.
Just to play it safe.
Yeah. But everything does work.
Okay, anybody have anything new?
The only thing I want to add is, you've all been invited, of course. The Penny Saver ad was out today to invite the community for the grand opening from 2 to 5 on Saturday. If you would like to come at 1 or 1:30, we'll have name tags for you. So if people want to ask questions, they will know to approach you rather than somebody who doesn't know the answer, because you've all been involved in this. And thank you all very much. This has been a project.
So great.
It's a bit of a difference between the old library and this library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It really is. This is gonna be, in
To
my
the
opinion,
positive.
this is gonna be a signature building in the town of Stoughton for many, many years, so.
I agree.
And it's very functional.
I would hope so.
Yeah, but
We
I mean,
struggle with that a lot.
We did, but I mean, I think that's what this group did a really great job of, designing something that's beautiful but really functional. And I think, you know, you should all pat yourselves on the back, because this was a lot of work.
Came out great.
We've already got
So great.
compliments back from people that say it looks more like a college library than a town library.
Yeah, and they haven't been inside yet.
Yeah, and none of the other towns around have anything like
They don't have
this.
anything like this, and believe me, Andrew Carnegie never would have built a library like this.
All
As the
right.
OPM for the project,
Or
I'd
all
just
of
like to add that the town of Stoughton got a tremendous value at $14 million for this building. It really is going to be an asset to the community for the next 50 to 100 years.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
to
you.
you, too.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
And I agree. Paul?
Yeah, I just want to, I think we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge Trish in her department of 3/4 of a person.
Yes.
Oh, really? I mean,
No
she's
kidding.
a college kid.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it's
they-
not like everything else in town shut down, but,
Yeah.
you know, between the elevator and the phone lines and the
Yeah.
40 new
Oh, yeah.
computers and
Yeah.
everything else, it's
The
It's
IP
amazing.
addresses we had to
right,
get for
it-
everybody.
Right,
Yeah.
and all the systems and everything else.
They've done an
I-
amazing job, yeah,
I think a big thank you.
for sure.
She
Yes.
and Tyler deserve a big thank you.
In the school IT guys is devoted 3 Saturdays over the last month to be here helping to hook it all up. I mean, it really just doesn't happen by a snap of the fingers. It's
Yeah.
a complicated process. Thank you. She deserves it.
Is there a need for another meeting?
Of the building committee?
A planned meeting, yes.
I absolutely
We'll
believe
have-
so.
we'll have more
Because we
bills.
do have.
We have
we-
invoices we have to go over, we have to make sure we finalize everything in the budget. I suspect, Gary, that we'll meet in January, and I'm also suspecting we're gonna meet in February and maybe March.
So is it gonna be the regularly scheduled date, or is it,
Wednesday at 3:30, second Wednesday of the month, 3:30?
So what day would that
So
be?
that would be,
Everybody reaches for their iPhone. I was gonna
The
take my
nine.
flip phone out,
I
but
have an Android.
I was gonna take my
I don't
flip
use
phone
iPhone.
out, but that wouldn't do any
January-
My
good.
wife's got a
January
brand
9th
new
here.
iPhone,
January 9th?
and it's
January
already
9th.
not functioning right.
At 3:30.
She has to
January
bring it
8th
back to
here?
Apple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you gonna need the architect for that meeting?
Let's see, what is,
If
what
we have
was
to
the date?
approve a pay rec or something.
Second Wednesday?
There will be
Yeah.
a final pay rec, and there should be a final change order, so the answer is yes.
Yeah, okay.
Tell
So
Ellen
just-
she has to come.
9.
Just one point on the date. Does it make sense to push it back one more week? I'm just thinking that between now, we effectively lose 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the holidays,
So-
yeah.
Will we really be ready with everything for the 9th? Or should we tentatively schedule it for the 9th, and we can always push it back a week if necessary?
Well, the only reason why the 9th works a little bit okay is the fact that Maureen and I have talked about before, we have a pay rec. Or is that gonna be a problem? That's up to you, really. You should
No,
know
because
better.
the
that's-
pay rec
that's-
will work around the contractor.
We'll work around the contractor. Okay, never mind.
Because they're
Sure.
probably, if there's anything to be done, the last of the punch list, I'm thinking between Christmas and New Year's might be slim.
Right.
Agreed, but
Staffing.
I'm assuming that there'll be a pay rec from the contractor, which we'll be asking for release of
MLK.
retainage in
21st
January.
this year, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then maybe a final pay rec in February for whatever has to clean up this and make
No,
sure
we're
that
going to
everything
the
is done.
16th.
Oh,
So
we're going to
stick with,
16th.
all right, so we're
So
gonna.
we're going
So
to
the
the 16th.
16th is fine.
Okay.
sure.
Don't you
Okay.
think that's better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gives them more time to get all
January
those items
16th?
done.
Yeah, I'll post it.
and if anybody has anything to add or take off the agenda, please let Pat know.
Yep.
Okay.
The only thing I have is, the Inspector General Office has set the date for their training, and it's an all-day training. I'll be reaching out to people who are gonna be on the panels, to present. We'll have a couple working sessions with the staff at the Inspector General's office to go over what we're.
Am I supposed to be part of that?
If you would like to, it's up to you, Gary.
Okay.
I'll be in the audience applauding.
So, but
I already got trained.
But it's their first building that they ever have done that's not a school. So this is a big, big deal to them. The Inspector General himself will be coming to talk, and this is, they couldn't make it to the open house even though they were invited, because they were very excited about this. They've been asking for pictures, they've been stalking our website. I've already talked to Jeff about the video that we'll have looping that day to see the before, the whole process of it. He's taken a lot of pictures and videos, so he'll be putting together something for us. So we'll talk, we'll get an agenda buttoned up. If there's something that you think is important that impacted you during this process, if you can give it to me, we'll make sure that, you know, somehow it's incorporated into the program. And this is a training session for people who are out there that the Inspector General runs in their MCPPO program, so that's their certification for any purchasing officials. It's also designers and OPMs attend this program as well, so we'll probably see attendance by OPMs and designers, people who might be, you know, building libraries in the future or managing libraries in the future. So we'll keep you posted, but certainly reach out to me if you want to be part of it, and we'll include as many people as we can.
And one of the agenda points that we have already talked about was one of the things that initiated this building project was that the building wasn't handicap accessible. And they had talked about that being an important part of building design. And one of the reasons Gary has been on 2 building committees over the course of 12 years is because the first building committee was instituted when we did a feasibility study, basically because we had tried for 4 years to get a new elevator, and we just couldn't make it happen because this building was complicated, because it had no second floor on the front of the building. And anyway, it finally is handicap accessible. We're very proud of that, and that's an important feature to have in all public buildings.
And somebody from the Commission on Disability, so there'll be a whole panel talking about accessibility. So somebody from the commission will be here to present on that and the importance, and just talk about the features we have here.
Okay?
Okay, anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.